Hello, welcome or welcome back to Made by Amanda. I'm Amanda and I make stuff. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a crochet artist. I mostly make amigurumi plushie type items that I sell at market events and online. And you guys, I am at my first market event of this year. This was like a last minute event I kind of picked up for this month just because it was at a brewery that was super close to me and the event organizers I am familiar with. So I thought that it would be a good transition into my market season. I didn't expect it to be like a huge thing, but I thought it would be a nice little transition back into things. It's been a minute since I've had a market, so I was itching to get back. This is the first time that they are doing this event. It's like a little sip and shop event at this brewery, and hopefully some people turn out. It is the day after the Super Bowl parade, so I don't know how much of a drinking day it's going to be here, so we'll see about the turnout, but it's okay. It's a 12 to 4 event, so we'll just be chilling. I wanted to show you guys my setup. This is the smallest area I think I've ever set up in, but it's nice. We're all comfy cozy in here, so I will show you the vibe. Okay, here's what we're working with today. This is like a 6-foot table that they gave me. It's like a high top table kind of, and I tried to fit as much as I could. Mostly everything fit. I didn't put my big unicorn out, but here's our usual cows, cats. We got some elephants, our puppers. Look at this setup, you guys. These are some Minnie's Crochet Friend roses for the Valentine holiday, even though it was like done yesterday. And look at these hanging plants, you guys. This is a new pattern for me. I got picked to pattern test these hanging plants by Minnie's Crochet Friends. I'm obsessed. Hello. Sorry, someone just came over to this area, but yeah. So these are Minnie's Crochet Friends hanging plants. These little tiny plants. They come in like a bundle of all these different plants, and I couldn't help but making a bunch of them because I am obsessed with them. They are so cute. I cannot wait to make more of them. I am so happy that I got to pattern test them. All the patterns in this video will be linked in the description below. I made some beer for our little brewery event today. I know everything's squished on here, you guys. I did what I could. We got some stacked axolotls over here. My triceratops, mushrooms, frogs, couple turtles. Look at this hamster. This is Basil the Hamster by Stacy Makes. I absolutely love this pattern. It's so cute, and I got to pattern test it, and I love it. And we got our keychains here today, some nuggets, and that's the vibe. You love to see it. Here's the overall vibe in here. You can't really see some stuff, but yeah, this is the vibe. This is the vendor area. I don't actually have anywhere to sit. I'm not really sure where to stand either because I can't fit behind my table. So just kind of like walking around. Special shout out to my fit today. We got our Made by Random Owl hat and our Made by Random Owl vest. This is the first time I broke out the uniform, courtesy of my sister who got this for me for a Christmas gift. You love to see that. Everyone's just like watching me vlog right here because everyone's just standing right here. Is that awkward? I don't know. Hello guys, I am back. Unfortunately, that was the only vlog clip from this event, and I am going to explain why in this video. I was debating even making this video at all. I was kind of just gonna pretend like this event didn't happen, but I just feel like you guys have been with me through so much, honestly, and I love having open dialogues in my comments. I love reading all of your comments and your feedback and really having conversations about it. So I'm interested to see what you guys will think about this situation. And also, I do try to pride myself on just being transparent in these videos. I mean, this is my life as a crocheter selling at market events. So I think that it's important to be honest about the good times as well as the bad times. Also, before I talk about what happened, I do want to say that I am not making this video with any intention to like attack or make anybody look bad or anything like that. I am just going to talk about what honestly happened and what my thoughts are on the situation.
So this has been my slow season for market events. It is the winter here, so I haven't had an event since, I guess, like around Christmas time, and most of my events are starting in March, and I really am making an effort this year to only focus on like bigger events that are really well organized and like put all of my energy and effort into that, as opposed to doing a bunch of little small events here and there. But I'm not gonna lie, you guys, I was like itching to do a market. I just like miss them a lot, and I was reached out to by these event coordinators that I have done other events with, and they notified me about this sip and shop event that was going to be at a local brewery. There were 2 optional weekends that you could sign up for. I only signed up for one weekend, which was the first weekend of this event. It sounded like it was going to be a new event. It was like a 12 to 4 event, so not a huge time commitment, which was nice. And the brewery is like so close to where I live. So I was just like, you know what do I have to lose? The vendor space was $30 for a 6-foot vendor space. And I was like, you know, worst comes to worst, I'll just spend the afternoon at the brewery. So that Saturday rolls around this past weekend, and I show up to the event. And I will say it was a pretty rainy day, and also it happened to be the day after the Eagles Super Bowl parade, and I am in an area where pretty much everyone flocked to that parade. So this was the day after like one of the biggest drinking days of the year, unfortunately. But all that being said, still going into it with an open mind. I am familiar with this brewery. I have been there before, and it's a pretty small space, so I didn't really know where we were actually going to be as far as the event goes. They did mention in the listing for the event that it was going to be like in the upstairs of the brewery. I had never seen an upstairs of the brewery, so I was like, oh, maybe I just have never been up there. So I show up, I walk in to just get the vibe of the space, and I am brought back to the room, which isn't really like an upstairs. It's more of just like a back room where all of the brewing goes on, the beer brewing. And there's about like less than 10 vendors setting up in a very small space. I don't know if you could really get the vibe of it from that short vlog clip, but the space was very small, and everyone was kind of set up in a circle, and the only like circle space was like the entrance to the room. And this event organizer, he points me to my table, which initially is a 4-foot table that they had already had set up. And I was like, oh, the 4-foot table, do you mind if I like go grab my 2-foot table, and so I can have like the 6-foot space? And he says, no, we need to be able to get in and out of here, because the table that he initially gave me was set up in front of a door. Like literally it was backed up to the wall, and the door was behind the table. And he was like, I need to be able to get in and out of this door. And I was like, okay. Wasn't sure how that was gonna work, because the table was like up against the door. And I'm not gonna lie, my like heart kind of sank at the 4-foot table space. I mean, I did pay for a 6-foot table space, so that's just kind of what I was expecting. That's what I had planned my setup around. So I didn't say anything at the moment, but I guess that he could tell that I was pretty like upset about it. And I walked out to get my stuff, and he like came out after me, and he was like, oh, well, there's some other high top tables. Maybe you could take one of those instead. So I go back in the room, and I like go to look at the tables that he's talking about, which I don't know why he didn't offer those in the first place, because they were bigger. They were like longer, but like a little like shorter in width. But with the way my setup is, I thought that I could definitely probably fit more on that type of a table space. So I did end up taking that table instead, which was a little bit better for the setup. The table was high. It was like pretty high top table, but it was fine. Everyone's tables were like fully up against like the perimeter of the room. So there was no space to sit behind your table. There was no space to even stand next to my table. Like if I was standing next to my table, I was standing in front of someone else's table. Like there was no space to go. I had no room to like set up a cash box or nothing. So this event organizer walks back into the room and he kind of addresses all of us and he's like, you know, we have been really working hard to promote this event and make it happen, and we were really counting on you guys to bring your audiences here, like your people here to this event. So how many people do you expect to show up? And he like starts kind of like pointing at us, asking how many people we expect to show up at the event. And he asks like, well, what did you do to help promote the event? Are you guys even promoting the event? Did you promote it at all? Did you post anything at all? And everyone's like, yeah, like we shared stuff. And he's like, have you been? And he was like, we're gonna go around the room one by one and ask everyone what they did to help promote this event. And at this point, I'm like a little like, what? Like, what is going on here? And he does. He starts pointing us out one by one and says, what did you do to share and promote this event? Where did you share it? Where did you promote it? How did you promote it? And everyone's like, I shared it to like Facebook. I promoted it like on Instagram, whatever. And honestly, I'm just like trying to finish setting up my stuff because like I was very uncomfortable. It was like a very uncomfortable vibe in the room. It did feel like we were all like getting in trouble for something, and the vibe was very poor. He calls on me. I told him I promoted the event on Instagram, on Facebook, by word of mouth. You know, I'm always promoting my events and sharing things about where I'm gonna be, but I can't guarantee people are gonna come and show up. And I'll be honest, I'm not an event coordinator or an event promoter, so I don't really know what to do outside of that. And after we went around the room and did that thing, he said that, you know, well, this will be like a trial run this week and next weekend we'll work out some of the kinks and blah blah blah, which like I didn't know I was signing up for a trial event. So all things considered that have been said thus far, it sounded like he was setting things up to expect like a very poor day, a very like poor event, which sucked. Like obviously, like I said, I didn't expect it to be a huge event, but I also didn't expect like that. To me, it felt like we were being blamed a little bit for the attendance of the event. So that was literally how the day started. I feel like the morale was pretty low after that, and it was pretty clear that no one was really coming to the brewery or the event. So all of us literally sat at the bar and drank because there was no space at our actual tables. So I want to say there was maybe like 4-5 people that came back into the actual shopping space. I sold 2 things. I sold a purple heart spot cow to another vendor there, and I sold 1 axolotl to someone that came back. So by some miracle, I did make my vendor fee back. And as it was getting later in the day, I feel like this event almost would have been better as a nighttime event. Like the brewery is open at night. I feel like if it started in the afternoon, we might have had a little bit more success, because as the day was like coming to an end, people did start coming to the brewery a little bit, but like no one was directing them or informing them that an event was happening. I think they were just people that were like coming to the brewery. I mean, there was like a white board that he like wrote a sign on and stuck it outside, but that was it. I don't think anyone really knew what was happening in there. And I mean, they could have had like the bartender telling everyone that like we were back there, like nothing. And you know, I was looking around the bar and these event organizer guys were not even there. Not only were they not there at that time, but they weren't there when we broke down at the end of the event, so I couldn't give them any of this feedback. I have considered reaching out, but honestly, this is not the first weird experience I've had with this specific event organizer. My other weird experience with him was also in one of these market vlogs. Comment down below if you think you might know who I'm talking about. So it is a shame because they do run most of the events in this specific town, and some of them are great. Some of them are very successful And I know that they do work hard, but I'm not gonna lie, I like didn't really like the way that I was spoken to at this event. I do know that there are people that watch these videos that might know him and this might get back to him, and I do want to reiterate that I'm not trying to like attack anybody in this video or anything, and honestly maybe hearing it from a vendor's perspective would be helpful, because in my opinion I just like do not think that you should be treating your vendors that way. I was not the only person that felt like that. It was a little upsetting to me that I felt like they were like hounding us about what we were doing to help the event. Meanwhile, they like weren't even at the event to help like run it. They were there in the beginning, but I don't know where they went as the day went on. As far as profit goes, this is my worst event thus far. And I really just want to like open up a dialogue in the comments below about like, what do you guys think about this? Like, do you think that it is our responsibility as vendors to be bringing in all of the attendance of the event? In my opinion, I think to a degree, like, yes, it is important that we're sharing and spreading knowledge of the event. In my opinion, my vendor fee is like not only securing a spot, but it's me paying you as an event organizer to do that. And if that was the expectation for this event, I think that that could have been communicated a little better prior to the event. Like, I mean, it wasn't communicated at all prior to the event. Maybe let us know like, hey, this is a new event and you know, we're really counting on you guys to help bring the attendance, but none of that was mentioned when I signed up. So yeah, that was technically my first event of the year. Unfortunately, it wasn't a great one, but I am looking forward to hearing what you guys think about this. I am looking forward to next month's events, and I mean, it could really only go up from here. Maybe I shouldn't even say that. I'm not even gonna jinx it. But thank you guys so much for watching this video if you did, and I will see you guys in the next one.